Can you hear me pretty good?
I hear you well, very well.
All right, fantastic. Tom, welcome, my man.
Hey, Cam.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We were talking about your necklaces. You have I think 4 or 5 on. Very beautiful, very
five.
different colors.
Yep.
Yeah, explain to me where each one originated.
Sure. So this is my most recent one is this one with some feet on it. And that was given to me just in Italy this year by my friend Filippo. He made it. And so it's an old Roman amulet from this idea which is, so in Latin, ibis redibis nunquam peribis, which means you will go, you will come back, you will go, you will return, you will not perish. So it was like soldiers used to have them during war, and then they'd like made out of clay, and then they'd throw them away after they came back from war safe. They'd go and dedicate it or whatever in a temple. They'd give it to the temple.
Does it always normally have feet, or is that what you...
No, it always has feet. It's feet going one way and feet going the other way. So it's going and returning. So you're going to go and you're going to come back and you're going to be fine.
That gives me reassurance.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And then the others have got like a gorgonion, which is...
Repeat that one more time. A what?
A gorgonion.
Gorgonion.
Which is an ancient Greek... it's basically like a gorgon's head. It's like Medusa. And so it keeps away the evil eye, like its protective charm. And then I've got Zeus and Europa, which is the god Zeus is a bull in this case. So he disguised himself as a bull to seduce the woman Europa, and that's how the continent of Europe gets its name, from this woman that came from Asia, basically from Asia Minor, that Zeus seduced as a white bull, apparently an irresistible bull. And then I've got the god Hermes, because I'm half Greek, so I've got a lot of Greek stuff, basically. The god Hermes, who's a god of traveling, but also of wrestling. And then the god Apollo, who is a god of light.
That one looks really cool. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like all green, shining. Green. And is there a face on there as well?
Yeah, it's got a face. It's got Apollo's face on it. And so Apollo is the god of both light, many things, but light and boxing.
Boxing.
He's a god of boxing, yeah. So Apollo's the boxing god, and Hermes is the wrestling god in the Greek mythology, ancient Greek religion.
Speaking about your background, I would love to know, how did you get into martial arts? What was your journey like? And where did you start?
Okay, that's a good question. So I started actually in martial arts a bit later in my 20s. I was actually in my early 20s when I started martial arts. When I first, I was at school, I used to play rugby, and I threw shot put as well at school. So at school I wasn't very athletic, but I was pretty good at those kind of sports. And then I went to college, played rugby there. Then everyone was way too big for me, so I stopped playing rugby because the level had just changed. Like the standard was just like way higher than it was at high school.
Monsters.
At school, and they were huge, yeah. And so I was at college. I finished college, and...
Where did you go to school, by the way?
I went to university in Wales, a place called Lampeter. So it was a really good... I mean, it wasn't a good rugby team at the time, but it was one of the founding members of the rugby union in the UK a long, long time ago. So we got to play against really good teams.
You grew up where?
I grew up in Cambridge in England. Okay. So, I'm originally from England.
Yeah, we couldn't tell, by the way.
No, by the accent. So I'm from England, so that's why I played things like rugby. And I was
soccer fan as well?
So growing up as a kid, you kind of forced into being one. I was never really a huge football fan, but I grew up as... My dad was from Manchester, so we were big Man City fans.
I'm a United fan.
well, when I was a kid, United, in the 90s and the early 2000s, the 1990s, so I was born in 1980, so I'm old now, I'm 46, but during the 90s, United were amazing and City were terrible. They were just always fighting relegation or getting relegated, so they were not the team. Nobody supported them apart from me and my entire school, because we were in Cambridge, which is the other side of the country from Manchester.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And so everyone thought I was just, they thought it was kind of funny that I was a City fan. They'd always just torment me for it. But I was never really a big football fan. I liked cricket.
Really?
Yeah, I was a big cricket. I used to love cricket. I used to watch the test matches and stuff like that. So
I've never watched a actual cricket match. I've played it recreationally in schools,
okay,
at like gym class,
yeah.
but I've never like actually seen professionals and
Oh, it was
the
great.
skill that required.
So I
be
used to
played.
being in Cambridge. So every year in England, there's usually a touring side come over, like South Africa or the West Indies or Pakistan or India, one of the other big nations. And so I've seen. Like I saw the West Indies play like live right in front of me in my hometown just against the university team, because they'd always come and play like one match just as a sort of relaxed play against the college. And so I'd always go in as a kid and just go and watch, like I saw the West Indies, I saw India, I saw South Africa, like when they were all like at their peak as being really good teams. So yeah, I used to love that. I haven't watched cricket for years though. When I was in India a few years ago, I did end up like having a bit of a knock around with some of the Indian kids there, because they were like, they got a bat, and I was like, oh, I'll play.
All right, so you're in college. You just finished playing rugby.
Yep.
Where did martial arts come? Yep.
So I when I was at college, there used to be like fights and stuff kick off in bars and stuff like that. So there'd occasionally be like little scuffles, especially with like the fact that it's Wales and the Welsh don't like the English, and there was a lot of English and Welsh people mixed up in the same town, and it was always quite friendly, but like it was a bit tough, and there's one guy no one messed with, because everyone said, oh, he knows Muay Thai, and I was like, wow, this thing must be amazing, because no one is messing with him at all, and I'd never seen him fight, although I was aware he could from other people saying, he knows his stuff.
He seemed like a calm guy.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Easygoing.
Yeah, he was pretty easygoing. And so I had this in my head for a long time. Muay Thai is this amazing thing that no one messes with you if you know this thing. And then then I finished college. I was doing, I didn't really take a full-time job. I was kind of messing between different things and enjoying life.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's what they say in America. Try and figure it out. Messing around is what they call it in England. But yeah, I was like, and then so I went to Thailand. My friends all had gone to Thailand a couple of years before, and then they were like doing another big trip. So I was like, oh, I'll come. And so I went to Thailand for like 2.5 months, and I tried a little bit of Muay Thai in Thailand, and I was like, oh, this is great. Like it was super fun for me, I mean, like I was somebody who would benefit from doing exercise, but didn't like going to the gym just to go to the gym, and didn't like going just working out to work out. I didn't see any purpose behind it. Yeah. Like I'd get bored. And so I came back to Cambridge, my hometown, after being in Thailand, and immediately sought out a Muay Thai gym. Yeah, immediately. And the thing about England is Muay Thai is actually fairly common, because we like striking. So we've got a boxing background in our culture. Yeah. And Cambridge actually had, for a town of 100,000 people, it had like 2 or even 3 Muay Thai gyms, basically, which is like quite remarkable compared to the US, where it's fewer. It's growing here, though. It's still a growing sport here. Whereas the first English had gone over to Thailand in like the 70s, started fighting over there. And then some of the Thais came over to England, like started a gym in Manchester, Master Sken, and then Master Toddy had like some people like Ronnie Green who were teaching in England. So it was like it started early. But anyway, I found this gym, Singto, run by Ryan Rudkin, who I've studied under for a long time, and I'm credentialed under Ryan now. He's the one who gave him my Kru status.
That's also a very interesting thing. Sorry to cut you off, but
please.
Like, and when it comes to like Muay Thai and striking, and in comparison to Jiu Jitsu or karate, where you have some sort of belt system to kind of rank you where you are in your journey in that martial arts, when you say that he's the one who kind of gave you, like what do we call that? Like, is that a blessing? Is that a?
So it's funny because the gym I was at did do a grading, but it was always something sort of controversial-ish, if you know what I mean, in the sense that, like, because Muay Thai traditionally doesn't have grading. You either fight or you don't fight.
You don't, right?
And then you become a teacher or you don't. And, like, over time, you're either good at it or you're not. It's like boxing, because... And that's why you can almost say, like, Muay Thai is more of a combat sport than a martial art in that regard, because often martial arts are ranked and graded in that way. Yeah. Whereas a combat sport like boxing, wrestling, right? They're not.
There is no like actual
Right.
ranking system.
Right.
And you just got to do it, or
you do it. Right, exactly. And the reason you end up being able to teach is because you can teach it, because you're good at it, and that your teaching gives results to your students, and that's what basically, you know, legitimizes your teaching. You know what I mean? Like, so like in jiu-jitsu, of course, you go, I've got my black belt or whatever belt, and you can say, look, this is my rank, and that's great. You know, I mean, that's great. I'm in both systems because I also do jiu-jitsu. But yeah, in Muay Thai, not so much. And the schools that do rank are very far and few between, and it is a controversial topic in the sense that should there be a ranking system? Shouldn't there be a ranking system? Like Sambo has just decided for FIAS, which is the Federation of Sambo, said they're going to have a ranking system because people want it. But Sambo's never had a ranking system because it's like you either become Sambo, you're ranked by how you compete, what accolades you get in competition. But then they're saying that puts off like hobbyists who want to have some measure of their progress, which is completely understandable, right?
But also in the sense of for Sambo, they do compete in the gi. So it's kind of like if there is some sort of belt system, it kind of falls in line.
It does.
It doesn't feel unnatural versus like if a Muay Thai guy was, I guess they could do it by a little band, right? They could do some sort of coloring system.
That's exactly what Muay Thai did for the ranking things. They were different. So these are called the armband's called prajut, and then the Mongkol is Mongkon is the headband.
Sorry, Kacha, for people watching, right? So traditional, can you explain to them what the traditional people?
So in Muay Thai, traditionally, you wear, when you fight, you wear armbands on the upper arms, which are tied on, and around the head is a band called a Mongkol, which is like a sort of headband, but it's hard usually. And traditionally what those are is they're actually, so in Thailand you have something which is called pa yant, which is a cloth with a magic spell written on it basically. And so those are made up of a few of those rolled up and tied up and made into like this sort of thing. So you literally would be wearing like kind of magic spells, protections around you.
Is that also why they're so big on the rituals before the fight, right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's twofold actually. So you've got before the fight, you walk in, you bow, you get in the ring, and men will always step over the top rope. Women have to go under the bottom rope.
Oh,
there's a reason for it. It's part of the Thai. So Thailand's a Buddhist country, but they have what's called Wicha, which is their kind of folk magic. And that is older than the Buddhism, but has become Buddhist. If you know what I mean, like Buddhism's like changed it to being a kind of part of that, you know. So there's like a magic, you know, and you do magic spells and you do things. They're very superstitious Thai people, and I believe it because I've seen some stuff out there I cannot explain. You know what I mean? So yeah, the rituals they do are like, so they then get in the ring, they seal the ring, so you walk around it and you kind of kick as though you're kicking dirt out, because originally Muay Thai was done not in a ring but on the ground, and so you're checking the ground for rocks and stuff, but at the same time you're also sealing it to keep the bad spirits out of the ring, like anything that's like any ghosts or stuff like that, which is why, for example, in the two main stadiums in Bangkok, Lumpini and Rajadamnern, the women are not allowed to fight in those two rings because they believe that the ghosts that live in those rings don't like women, get angry. And so that's why women can't go in. But they can fight in the other stadiums, but they're not those two. So it's lots of these sorts of superstitions. And then you have the Wai Kru, which is like showing respect to your teachers and your lineage, and then the Ram Muay, which is a boxing dance. But the other side of that is how graceful you do the Wai Kru and the Ram Muay shows the gamblers in the stadium how you move, and so they'll start kind of figuring out who they're going to bet on in the fight. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. And like, so for example, you'll notice like some fighters are walking with a lot of gold amulets, and they often, when they take their money, they'll often like invest it into gold that they wear. And that also indicates to the gamblers like how good that guy is at fighting. Yeah, right. Look, he's got all this gold. He's like won a lot, you know. So everything's like got two sides of it, you know. There's a superstition, but then there's a practical part of that too. You know? So yeah. But that's where the krung rangs, or the prajut, sometimes called krung rang. That's where the they come from, and that's what they would, if they're going to rank, they'll wear coloured versions of those, but they don't rank in Thailand at all.
Okay.
Apart from the Kru Muay Association, which is a newer organisation that only ranks instructors, not students. So the lowest rank is assistant instructor in that system.
So we're back. We're in England. You just came back. You found your gym.
Yep.
You said you've been training under that teacher.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So how else did your journey play out?
So, I mean, I started training and I immediately wanted to try and get some fights. And I had a few, and I figured out pretty quickly I was not really made for fighting, if you know what I mean. I didn't have not for fighting at a decent level, because I didn't have the killer switch.
Yeah.
I was a bit too nice, honestly. And that is a problem. Like, you know, some people who are like super nice, but you get in that ring and they will murder another man without thinking. Just something flips inside them. And the thing is, I had a flip switch where it would change, and like that still comes out sometimes. Like, came out the other day in sparring. If certain things happen, it'll like change the way I move, change the way I think, change the way that I fight. You know, and I'll suddenly like be like, I'm coming in for the kill now. But I couldn't turn that on unless something happened to me, in a sense. And that's sort of weird. And as I've got older, now that I don't fight, I've got more of that killer instinct than I had when I was young, which is weird. As
someone who, again, very early in my career, that is one of the things that I've been challenging myself. I've found very challenging in my journey, is like being too nice, right? Where I used to always say, like, when I'm sparring against some people, the fact that I'm like scared to hit them will make me pull a shot, and that will make me do very bad technique, which builds bad habits.
Right, that's true.
And that killer instinct that you speak of, having the ability to turn it on and off, is another thing that I've been learning to hone.
Yes.
Hone that killer instinct. And
that is a skill in itself.
It is. And I am a very nice person.
Yeah, you are.
But when it comes to the fight, you know, I don't see it as like being violent. I see it just displaying art.
That's a lovely way of looking at it.
I don't see myself as a fighter. I see myself as a martial artist. And
that's a nice, I mean, I think there's a distinction there too.
Yeah. But at the same time, like you were saying, having that killer instinct, I need to hone it better, because in my last fight, I found that, you know, the beginning of the fight went great. It went in my favor, you know. But as the fight stretched out, and that was my first 5 rounds, that killer mindset, that like the killed or be killed, and I found myself in there just being content that I'm not getting hurt.
Yeah, I got you.
And I hate it, and I hate that.
No, I know what you mean, though.
So much.
I know what you mean.
So I resonate with you in that.
Right.
That
I mean,
aspect.
The thing is like, the ability to sort of put the fight to bed, to put it away, to be like, okay, now I'm just going to finish this thing.
Yeah, and you know, at whatever cost.
Yeah.
That's it, at whatever cost.
Yeah, right. Put it right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and some people like have that. I mean, I had the great fortune in about 2006 to travel to the Netherlands this is when I was still living in England, and train with Raymond Dekkers, who is like a legend in Muay Thai and Dutch kickboxing. He passed away a few years ago now, sadly, but he had the killer instinct more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you see his old fights, like, so apparently his first year in Thailand, he got his butt handed to him all the time. And then the second year, he started
putting it on.
Yeah, putting it on. And suddenly was like defeating like serious high-level stadium champions, and then he ended up becoming like pretty much the most respected foreign fighter of all time in Thailand itself.
Even I know his name.
Well, and he got, I mean, the king, he got presented a medal by the king, you know, to
That's awesome.
Like he's like he could have essentially been given sort of almost an honorary Thai citizenship. That's how respected he was, and if you watch his fights, he had the killer instinct to the point where someone's going down, he's just still trying to hit them as they. I mean, that's something different. That's like another level.
It is.
You know,
and That's what I want to get to one day. One day, like
you will. I mean,
in due time.
You have to train it.
Yeah,
and it's true. You have to train it. You have to have the experience. And like, so I sort of went through that and realized as well that I was way better at teaching. Like way better at teaching. I was very technique focused. I still am. Like when I teach now, I'm super technique focused. I like to focus on mechanics, how you move. That's just the way I teach, really. And teaching is different from coaching. Those are two different skills too. I'm going to tell you about that. But so where I teach is that. And coach, just a quick side. Coaching is being able to get the most out of people and give them what they need at that moment to really kind of like excel, like, so coaching is understanding that person and knowing what they need to hear, what they need to say, or what they need to hear, what they need to do in order to perform better. That's coaching, I'd say. It's a different skill than teaching. Teaching's like, here's the technique, here's what I do, here's how you move, here's how you do this.
Yeah.
Coaching's like more of, for me, it's more of a sort of psychological thing. That's my opinion on it.
I like that.
Yeah, because I mean, and coaching's a skill I've picked up more over time. Like I was a better teacher, and then coaching something that's kind of another skill I'm still having to learn it, because you're trying to figure out who is this person, get to know them. What do they need?
You bridge that gap?
Yeah, exactly. What is it what makes that person, and what can I do to like get the best out of them? What can I say? Like, especially like you're in their corner, let's say, right, in a fight. What do they need to hear? Because one person might need to hear like, some hard truths, get in and do that. And some people might need to sort of have something like, oh, it's okay. Just, it depends on the person, right? And knowing what to say to them in that moment is the difference between them going out and like crushing that round or not being able to show up for the round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's a skill in itself. But yeah, so I basically figured out I was good at teaching. I was actually really good at teaching.
And you figured it out because you were teaching?
Yeah, I started teaching pretty early on. I started after a couple of years. I started just covering bit classes or just helping out and doing things. I mean, within the first 6 months, I was cornering as a second. So like I'd go along to fight. We had a few like decent fighters getting pro fights, and I basically as soon as I had the opportunity, I tagged along. I was like, yeah, I'll come. And so Ryan would be, so in Muay Thai, you get, in England at least, you traditionally get 3 cornermen.
I hear mostly 2.
It's mostly 2, right? So you'd have like the first, second, and the second 2 guys. So you'd have the coach and then the bucket man, the towel man and the chair man, basically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did that. So I was just basically able to be in the corner. That's why I'm still pretty good at getting the air to them with a towel, I actually still like doing that. But I got to kind of listen in and like see how Ryan, my teacher, was cornering, and like
coaching, coaching,
right, exactly. And like kind of be part of that whole world pretty early on. So I got in with that, within 6 months I was doing that. I sort of figured out straight away, I love this sport. I'll fight occasionally just because it's something I should do and I do enjoy it, but like I'm never going to be super top level at this, at the fighting side, but I could be really good as a teacher, and that's a way for me to like really kind of stay super involved in the sport that I really like this sport, and so yeah, I started doing that. Ryan used to do these things like little mini courses, like Padman course, like then he'd say like, now I know that, he'd give you a little bit of paper, say I've certified you as one of our Padmen, like I can trust you with the fighters or whatever. So yeah, I started doing all that kind of stuff, hand wrapping, like.
So far right now, where you've only studied Muay Thai.
Yeah, that's
right?
it.
That's it right now. And at what age are you?
Here, I'm in my early 20s. By the time I was covering classes, I was probably about mid-20s, like 25, 26. And that's when I started really kind of teaching. And then Ryan would go away and I'd just cover classes and like look after the schedule while he was away. Like I ingratiated myself really quickly into the gym structure because I was like all in.
Yeah.
I was one of the, in life, if you kind of throw yourself all in on something and you make yourself useful, people will like bring you in. They'll show you stuff. They'll teach you stuff. Like.
That's one of my favorite things that I've found about this martial arts world is everyone's willing to just give knowledge.
Yeah, they're generous,
and I love it because it's an exchange as well. Just because I'm getting knowledge, now I'm teaching my privates and I'm helping my teammates around,
That's
giving
awesome.
them the same knowledge that I absorbed.
And
I love that exchange.
I think within martial arts, there's this. There's one old-fashioned sort of style traditional martial arts where everything's a secret and blah blah blah. But like within the modern combat sports martial arts world, I think people feel a responsibility to pass on what they were given. Like they don't want it to just die with them. Be like, okay, I learned, I'm going to take it all and I'm going to give nothing back. It's just like not an attitude you really encounter. Most people you'll find like, they want to give you, they want to show you. Like, I want to show everybody this thing that I've just learned or I've just figured out this thing. I've got to show you this. It's just kind of part of the attitude. And I think the more, if you come into that world like super open, super friendly, super useful, and just being a decent kind of like human being, like you get pulled in. I mean, one of the things I've always loved about the gym as the concept, right, the martial arts gym, is like it doesn't matter kind of what you are outside. Like, I mean, obviously, unless you're like a complete,
you can say it,
shitball, shithead, whatever. If you're just like a shitbag, right, in life, then of course. But you're judged on who you are in that space, on your character. You know what I mean, and how you, and that all divides outside of that space are gone because it's like. You're either one of us or you're not one of us. You're either training with us or you're not training with us. You're doing it with us or you're not doing it with us. That's it. And I just found that like the gym is like the greatest leveler of people. Like it's like you come in, you do the work, you become part of the family. That's that. If you are a shitbag, you're out pretty quick, and you'll either leave of your own, which is usually what happens. They usually leave of their own accord. They separate themselves.
Yeah,
they're out. You don't need to kick them out usually.
And I say this every single time. Why I've found martial arts so great is it's one of the only sport that you could pick up at any age and people are willing to teach from scratch.
100%.
I can't go to a basketball league and just be like, hey, I've never played basketball before. Can you guys teach me? Like,
no.
I'm 20-something,
No.
So I love that aspect. I love the fact that a 40-year-old person who's never thrown a punch in their life are like, hey, like I wanna learn. And what's so beautiful about it is the people's willingness to admit that they don't know and they're willing to go seek it out.
Right. And the thing is like, because it is that world, it's like if you don't know, it's very clear very quickly that you don't know, right? I mean, because you're hitting each other or you're choking each other.
The ego for sure. And I also really like it because you can't lie to yourself in this.
No.
And it forces you to face your true self at all times.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it will show and you will pay.
Yeah, right, it will. And it's sort of like it makes you realize that those kind of moments where you get angry or you lose control for something, that you end up feeling bad. Like you end up seeing, like, because you end up not coming out of that situation well. And even if in that moment you do something that like gets you that little, I won that little exchange or whatever, then you'll feel like, but I did it in a really shitty way and now I feel like not good anymore about it, So yeah, it does. You're absolutely right. It kind of holds a mirror up to yourself. It's like it is like you can almost say that martial arts is the mirror to your soul in that regard, because you have to really face who you are.
Yeah.
Because who you are when someone is trying to hit you or choke you is who you are ultimately.
It will show.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like this is the last, if I'm looking at athletes, yesterday, funny story enough, I just finished training. I went to the gym and I was just like stretching out, hitting the sauna. And as I got out, it was some kids like fighting over a basketball game, right? But let's remove that. It's like, yeah, we've played basketball, but there's a tension between us. Like, I can beat you, you know? But when you take away the basketball and everything else, and it's just me and you, let's see who could beat each other. It's so pure.
Yeah.
It's so pure because there's not much emotion involved in it.
No.
It's all like
yeah. Right. I mean, and the thing is when emotion does become involved, this is what I teach. So I teach kids too. Like, I actually really like teaching the kids. Some people don't. I do.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it's good. You can get to kind of put more than just martial arts into their mind. But it's the idea that I always try and tell them, don't, stay control of your emotions. Don't, if you get angry or you get sad, like, you're going to lose. Like in a fight, if you get angry, you're going to lose because you're going to do something dumb, because like your emotions, when they take control, are not good things to control you. When like kind of thinking like who's behind the steering wheel, right? You don't want like the angry you on the steering wheel because you're going to do something dumb. You need like that calm, totally focused, like zone. Right. Where it becomes like, obviously there's the sort of logical side, but then it comes to sort of the idea of the flow state over time, that you get, good enough that you just don't think too much and you just kind of flow.
Body just does what it does.
Yeah.
So, where did your interest to the other martial arts start coming in?
This is good. So what happened was I was traveling around. I lived in Asia for 6 years. I met my wife in Thailand. She's American.
Okay. So lived in Asia. This is 27-ish.
Oh, so
430.
I moved to Thailand when I was 29. So I was traveling back and forth to Thailand training. Because in England we get very permissive holidays. We get like 4 weeks a year is pretty much standard as your vacation. So I was able to go for like a month at a time and just go and stay in Thailand. I mean, I used to go to a gym called Jitty Gym, which is now called Ritty Rit Gym. It's in Bangkok. So I'd go to Jitty Gym, and the first time I went there, must have been to Jitty Gym was probably 2006. And when I first went there, like it was the same time Liam Harrison was there, Rich Cadden was there, Andy Thrash. Like, there's a whole bunch of like really well-known English fighters were there. So I got to kind of like hang out with like essentially what was at the time like the UK Muay Thai royalty.
Yeah, I mean,
Liam's
it's like
still
Muay Thai legends.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they were really good guys. And the thing is, I was young, so I was going out and drinking with them and stuff like that in Bangkok, which is kind of fun. But I arrived at Jitty Gym. I'd emailed them, because this is like before we had good internet stuff. It was like 2006. It was like I sent them an email, and a few days later, I'd got an email saying, yeah, you can come and train, come and live, stay here. Yeah, no problem. We got rooms and stuff. I was like, okay, great. And I showed up, and they'd forgotten I was coming. And they were like, I haven't got any rooms. And they were like, oh, wait, there's a bed behind the ring that one of the trainers sleeps in. That trainer's away for the next month.
Oh, worked out.
And I was like, great. So I was literally sleeping in this like little concrete box, and it was 2 beds, and it was me, and next to me was this guy from China who was training, who didn't speak any English or any Thai. And then me here, and so we're talking through a translating device, both. And the thing is, you kind of get a camaraderie, because you're all just training, you're all like, doing Muay Thai together 2 times a day. You're doing like about 6 hours of Muay Thai every single day, 6 days a week, So that's where I was at Jitty Gym. I was literally sleeping behind the ring. Like, it was kind of wild. And then every morning you get up and you go and start jumping rope or go for a run or something. I hated running, so I usually jump rope. So that was, I was going back and forth. And then in 2009, I went out there training and met my wife. She was American. She was teaching English out there. And so I was like, okay. And I knew immediately that I was going to, I liked her a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to sell all my stuff and move to Thailand. Because, I mean, that's a pretty cool option in itself anyway, regardless of the girl or not the girl.
Yeah.
And, I ended up marrying her, so it worked out. So we lived in Asia, lived in Thailand, Vietnam, China, and Hong Kong, and traveled around a lot. And so I was trying to do Muay Thai in all those places, apart from Thailand. Like, I was trying to do it in Vietnam. I tried out little martial arts in those places. Like in Vietnam, I did something called Vo Vietnam, which I didn't like that much. It was like more kind of kung fu-y, and it's not my style, And then in China, I did a little bit of Muay Thai, because it sort of was growing there, and I had some friends had gyms and stuff out there. And then in Hong Kong, I did a lot of Muay Thai, because there's a lot of it. And then I also tried out like shoot fighting, which is Japanese kickboxing style, and I tried out some Kali, like a screamer with the sticks, like the Filipino style. So
Filipino stick fighting.
Yeah, I tried out a bit of everything because I was always like, oh, well, I'll check it out. Oh, I'm interested, because I knew Muay Thai and I was like trying to do some other stuff, but like nothing really stuck too much. But I found it interesting. I found those things interesting. And then when we went, before I came to the States, I was in Europe for a bit, so I was doing bits and pieces there too. And then I always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. I started seeing stuff like jiu-jitsu, but I was never anywhere long enough to like do it. You know what I mean? And so finally got to come to the US and live here. I got my green card. I ended up in Fairfield, which is, end up in this area anyway, in Fairfield, where the gym was. And it was a 10th Planet gym, and I'd heard from an MMA gym I'd briefly trained at, like in Cyprus, in Europe, which was, they were saying, oh, 10th Planet's really good. Yeah, this is really good jiu-jitsu. I was like, okay, great. So ended up at Radius, which is 10th Planet Fairfield, which is where I am now.
Yeah.
And I started doing jiu-jitsu there and like immediately kind of fell in love with it. I mean, what was funny was this MMA gym I was at, we were doing MMA and I'd never done much grappling. I'd always done striking. And they were like, the coach there, Yakovos, he was like, you are naturally would be a much better grappler than a striker. And I was like, really? Like, that's kind of interesting because I've never done it. I've only ever done striking. And then, I ended up starting grappling, and yeah, I just kind of fell in love with that. Like, because it gave me a new lease of life on my martial arts.
Yeah, it's kind of having to start there's something about like starting all over and having to relearn like something brand new.
Oh, 100%.
I love it. I love when I'm lost, and I love when I have to rewire my brain to learn something. It just makes me feel alive, and it makes me feel present.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, right. I mean, and again, that's something like, so obviously I grew up in the pre-digital age, and so getting lost is something that happened all the time. And there is something exciting about being lost and trying to figure out, oh my God, what am I doing? Where am I? I got lost in a lot of different cities.
I was about to say you did a fair bit of traveling.
I've done a lot of traveling.
I know you were constantly just in that state of mind.
I like to get lost. I think it's nice if you would sort of start wondering. And the thing is, it's true, Google Maps has kind of taken away some of that because you're like, oh, well, I could just find this. But there's something nice about being lost. But yeah, and I got lost in jiu-jitsu, and so I started doing that. I competed pretty quickly into my white belt journey too. I've been someone who always believed that when you start something, just try and compete in it.
Same thing for me. It was just like I know myself as a learner, and the way I learn is I need to go all in or like pedal to the metal, and I'll figure out how to walk later. Same thing. I did my first competition after 3 months of training jiu-jitsu. I did my first I've been fighting consistently for the last 7 months, but prior to that, I just trained for 6 months, and I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready to go. Right. Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's something really powerful in that, right? Just throwing yourself in. Yeah. It's a test. You're testing yourself.
And that's all. And that's what I just see with this journey is all a test to myself, a test of my mental fortitude, a test of the words that I keep to myself. You know, I'm very big on pretty much doing the things that I promise myself that I'll do.
That's awesome. That's actions matching words, right? Yeah. But it's actually even more than actions matching words, because actions matching your internal words, which is like a really difficult thing for a lot of people to do, because they'll say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And they maybe don't vocalize it, but they keep it to themselves, and then they don't do it. But actually doing what you say to yourself is like pretty powerful, honestly. That's pretty cool.
I've been trying to like live by that.
Yeah.
Where just do the things that I know that I want to do. And like you were saying, sometimes it's good to go all in.
Yeah, all in.
And I've done that in many different areas, and just to see not reaction, but to see the exchange that I've gotten back is like tenfold.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, so, obviously I'm now a jiu-jitsu brown belt. In after this part of my journey, and I've got a lot of places to go with it, but that also opened my eyes into other things, like all the other grappling, which is what I've sort of kind of become known for a bit in terms of what I do from the kind of on the public side of things.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So that kind of opened, that again is the same thing though. It's like, I'll go all in on it. I'm like, okay, I need to learn about this. I'm going to go all in. I need to do this. I'm going to go all in on it. You know, I just throw myself into that thing to do it.
Yeah.
Because that gives me like it tests me. It satisfies like a deep part of my curiosity where I need to get to the bottom of something, understand that thing. And it opens the world. Like, it gives me experiences and gets me to meet people and go places that I would never meet and never go to those places without that kind of purpose.
Now you're at Radius. You're training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they kind of, you know, throughout the class saw you were really good at teaching, or when did you start teaching there?
So I started teaching Muay Thai there pretty. So this funny story actually. So I showed up to Radius to do a trial, which is what happens. So I started to do a trial in a Muay Thai, and immediately they could, like, Travis knew, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually a Muay Thai instructor, because I was ranked a Muay Thai instructor at that point. This is 2000. This is 2018. 2018, I think, is when I showed up. No, 2019, beginning of 2019, January, I think. Maybe, but it's beginning of 2019. And Travis was like, he basically said, well, come and do another trial. You know, come and do another class, right? So I did that other class, and then he was like, okay, we're going to try and figure out a way, because I was like, I'm going to do I tried to do a trial at some other place. I'm going to try some other place. Like, so he kind of, I mean, he may correct me and tell me, no, this is nonsense. I never liked you. We're pretty good friends. But he basically understood that I was a Muay Thai teacher and didn't really, and wanted to kind of retain me. And so I was doing Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu there, and he was trying to figure out a way to get me to teach there, figure out classes I could teach, because he has to sort of get to know you, you know, like anything, you want to get to know him. So we had about a month or so of just like me just being a member. And then I started teaching a Saturday morning class. And then I started the kids class. We didn't have a kids Muay Thai class, so I started teaching that. And then the other instructor we had there, Josh, he moved away. And so I took over his classes. So I ended up becoming like the
teacher.
The teacher, that was that. And then I've now got to a point where I don't teach dedicated jiu-jitsu classes myself, but I'll cover classes. I teach like classes when it's like, they'll ask, hey, Tom, can you cover a class? Like, yeah, sure. And I'll teach something, you know. And I'm definitely more of a no-gi guy than a gi guy, but I end up teaching both sometimes, you know. And then I've been teaching a lot of jiu-jitsu abroad, and recently, like on my last trip to Europe, I taught basically jiu-jitsu in Italy and in Greece and stuff like that. So it's like kind of wild how that's just.
Is it just friends from gym that throw your
it's from my social media.
Nice.
And it's from the interest I've created around some of the ancient stuff that I've been reconstructing, and that in itself has led just connections, you know, and people like liking what I do and want, oh yeah, come and teach, you know. And also the thing is like, I've always been like very happy to teach, you know, just like off the drop of a hat. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll teach that thing. Yeah, sure, I can do it, you know. And that's something that's come again with experience, like that you have confidence in yourself that like, yeah, I can figure something out. Yeah. I'll teach, you know, you want me to teach a class? All right, we'll do this.
That was one of the reasons that I kind of not knew you, but like I saw you online. I saw your page. For the people out there, his page is amazing on Instagram.
Thank you.
It's called is it the WarYoga?
WarYoga, yeah.
WarYoga. And I was like looking at it was very funny because that was just when I first started striking, right? So I'm starting to understand the different history behind the different arts.
Yeah.
And then I stumble upon your page, and you're talking about like freaking an elbow strike from how long ago, or some sort of. It was just amazing. So how did you even come upon that, and what drew your interest to the history behind the martial arts?
So that's a good question. So I was an archaeology student at university. So I was always interested in history. After university, I had nothing to do with anything academic to do with that stuff, but I've always had like this deep interest in history, and particularly ancient history. I really love it. I love to know about that stuff. It just fascinates me. And then combine that with martial arts, of course, was just like something that naturally developed. But so WarYoga, originally I was looking at Indian stuff. So I was looking at so in India they have kushti wrestling, which is a kind of wrestling. I've done it. It was fun. It's kind of wrestling in the soil. In England, in America, they say they're wrestling in the mud, but it's not mud. It's like the earth. It's dug up ground. So you get covered in what looks like mud because it kind of is mud. So I wrestled. I've done that. But what was interesting about that to me wasn't the wrestling itself. It was the strength and conditioning they do, which is very ancient and traditional, which is swinging maces and like these bodyweight exercises. And so that's where WarYoga came out of, was that. And then I found out that that system was related to a system in Iran, which is called Varzesh Pahlawani, which is the sport of the champions or the sport of the heroes, and that happens in a place called a Zorkhane, which is a house of strength.
That is one of your books, right?
Yeah, Zorkhane. Yeah. So my first book is about India. My second book is about the Zorkhane. So the Zorkhane is a place where they do training for strength training, but originally that was linked to wrestling too. And so I realized that there's these systems and they're kind of connected, and so I've been kind of connecting these dots all along. And so I went to India, I trained in India. I went to Iran, I trained in Iran. You know, I've been to Pakistan. I've been to all these places searching for their training systems. And then whenever I'm there, I'm like, yeah, I'll wrestle. Show me. So I've wrestled in Iran. I wrestled in India. I wrestled in Pakistan. Wrestled in Georgia just recently. I've wrestled there.
That's awesome. I heard that great wrestling in Georgia.
Yeah, they do actually. So I did something that's called Chidalba, which is their traditional jacket wrestling. It's where the Georgian grip comes from in judo, the over-the-top belt grip. So I did some Chidalba recently. So I basically kind of got in the kind of obsessive way my mind works. Like I now need to go out and try all these different like traditional styles and like pick them all up and try them, you know, test myself in it, say, could I do that, you know? And so I then, being Greek as well, I then went into, half Greek, my mother was Greek, and I went into looking at the Greek styles. And so ancient Greece obviously had like the Olympic Games, but it actually had lots of different games. And 3 combat sports existed in them, which was boxing, which is called Pikmachia, wrestling, which was called Pali, and then essentially an MMA, which was called Pankration. In America, they'll say Pankration, but the Greek is Pankration. It means all mastery, meaning you've got everything, you know, the striking and the grappling. And so that was completely lost. It was done for about 1,000 years, from about 700 BC until 300 or 400 AD. It was a competition. It was part of the ancient games, but then it was lost when the Christian emperors got rid of the end of the sacred games, because the games were dedicated to pagan gods, and so the games had to go. You know, and so once the games go, the motivation to train a sport for the games goes. Yeah. And so that disappeared, and I was really fascinated. I was like, look, there's pottery, there's fragments of information about it. What can I learn, and what is different from it? And so I've spent a lot of time trying to reconstruct. I don't believe you can reconstruct the entire style, because that's like, it's almost impossible. Yeah. But you can reconstruct parts of it, and then that will inform you about the bigger picture of the whole. And then if you take it to the fact that human bodies move in certain ways, there's only a finite number of ways you can punch. There's a finite number of ways you can kick. There's a finite number of ways you can choke someone out. You know, there's limits. And like in modern styles, we now have very advanced striking, very advanced grappling, right? We've discovered, or rediscovered really, because I don't believe there's anything new.
Agreed. Yeah.
That that if you know these things, and with my interest in history and understanding of how to read the sources, I was able to kind of pull quite a lot of interesting information out of it. But I think knowing how to grapple and how to strike have been the real key, because you're like, okay, it says this, but like an academic who doesn't do any martial arts would read that and not really understand exactly what they're saying, whereas somebody who does martial arts can read it and be like, they probably mean this.
Can you imagine trying to explain or writing like a switch kick? Yeah, your front foot goes to the back, right, and then you kick forward.
Right. And it's exactly right. So, and I know that from personal experience, because I've tried so many times to write things out, right? I mean, some of my books like that, right? So that's why I always put in illustrations, because I'm like, if I just write it, people will be like, what?
What the hell?
Yeah, right. So yeah, exactly. So like reconstruction takes a lot of that kind of like. So I've also reconstructed, like, for myself, bare knuckle boxing.
3D printer.
No,
I've never heard them.
That's interesting.
Give me 1 second.
No problem. There we go. Here, like that. Okay. So you can see my face now.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. Okay. So
I've also reconstructed some bare knuckle boxing, old English bare knuckle boxing.
I've seen those.
And the thing is people find it very hard to look at these old styles and understand that it's an old style.
Yeah.
There might be stuff of value in it, but it relies on the rule set of that style to be what it is. Like, so I'll often get a lot of criticism saying this wouldn't win against boxing. I'm like, well, I'm not saying it wins against modern boxing in a modern boxing rule set, right? Like that, of course it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not for that rule set. That's like trying to say, judo doesn't work in a taekwondo competition. Well, yeah, of course it doesn't, because they've got two different sets of rules. I mean, that's a bit of an extreme example, but like, martial arts and combat sports, all styles develop out of the rules. What am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do? What is it that makes me win? What is it that, makes me lose? So, like, example, if you look at just any kind of wrestling styles, is it just like sumo, where only my feet can touch the floor and any other part of me touching the floor means I lose? Am I allowed to touch the floor with my hands? Am I allowed to put my knee down? Those will completely change the form that you use to be able to do that sport. Like, those tiny little rules change the style.
Yeah.
And so when you have something like that old English bare knuckle boxing, right, you were allowed to hit with any part of the hand. You were allowed to throw and sweep. You were allowed to pick someone up and dump them on the floor. You won when someone gave up. There were no limits for the number of rounds. There was no time limit on a round. A round finished when someone hit the floor, went down. That was it. So these things change how you fight, because, like, okay, a round might last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? I can put you down and finish the round by picking you up and throwing you on the floor, and that's the end of the round. You know what I mean? Like, so everything changes. And once you are like, okay, so modern boxing, you can punch. That's what you can do, right? You're allowed to punch, and you'll have to punch with the front of the hand. You can't do backhand stuff. So all this hammers and stuff like that, they did all that stuff because they weren't wearing gloves, and also hammers and so on actually allow you to get into clinches and throw from clinches, So yeah, actually, someone who does a traditional martial art understands old bare knuckle boxing a lot better than someone who's a boxer, if you know what I mean. Like, they see more of a parallel. They're like, it's just like kung fu, it's just like karate.
From what I've like, differentiate between the sports, and before coming in, like, why I decided that I wanted to be a mixed martial artist, right, is like I see boxing as a very comparison to dance. I see boxing as like ballet.
Okay.
Where everything is very like fine-tuned. Yeah. Everything is at minimal, like, space for errors. Mm-hmm. Where you have someone who's doing hip-hop that's like all over the place, and but it's still it's a art form within their style,
right?
And so I definitely agree.
And they're all art forms. I mean, the thing is like, I think there's value in all martial arts, and I think a martial art doesn't even need to be something that's really useful for fighting. I think a martial art doesn't have to be that. Like, some can, some are, and some aren't. Like I think it's great if a kid goes and does like some kind of kung fu that only works in kung fu. I think that's great. Does it need to work against a boxer? No, right? Yeah. They're learning something from that. They're getting something from that. Like, people really like to laugh at Aikido, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Aikido, it's rubbish. But it's not. It's good. It's a movement pattern. It's wonderful. And it works for what it was made for, which was fighting against someone who has a sword when you don't have a sword, right? I mean, that's what it's made for. So it's all like moving out the way, getting out the way, trying to get the arm and pull it across out of your way, because they've got a sword in that hand, right? But then, that being said, I know at least 2 guys who know Aikido and are high-level jiu-jitsu guys, and they will use bits of Aikido in their jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And it's a straight-up Aikido move, but it works.
What Wing Chun. Mm-hmm. I want to learn Wing Chun so bad.
Some of it's good.
Some of it is phenomenal.
But people like to, again, dump on that too.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, this is some like movie stuff. Yes, but at the same time, the movements, you still see them in your regular, whether MMA
right.
or even Muay Thai.
Right.
The patterns are still the same, the blocks. And that's why I really like your page, because if you weren't someone who practiced all these different arts, I think people might kind of take you more for BS.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have practiced the modern and what is effective.
Yeah.
But you're going back and you're seeing the relation to how the modern game even grew is just amazing.
Well, that is. The thing is, people like to kind of have this idea that in modernity everything's better. We know everything, right? But we don't. We're like rediscovering stuff, and also like there's value in going back and preserving what has been there before, because that could lead to new routes off that. That could lead to new ideas off that. Like, so the standing hammer fist, for example, is something no one was really thinking about. Although then in the last few years, you've started to see people doing standing hammer fists in fights.
Trevor Peake.
Right. Yeah, Trevor Peake. Yeah.
Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, right. And the thing, bam. Because why not?
Why not? Why not?
That's
another thing I'm starting to see in my learning process, where like when I'm learning, my mind is very like rigid. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing 1, 2, 3 versus 2, 1, 2, right?
Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Or throw like a punch or an uppercut from a different place.
Yeah.
Why not?
Play.
It's art. It's art.
Yeah,
art, and you can express it many different ways.
Right. I agree. And I think that you have to be playful with your learning in that regard. Like, you have to like kind of, it's like when you have something new, you should kind of play around with it and see where it goes, see what happens to that thing,
Yeah.
And if you don't ever try anything new, then you're never going to discover anything. Like, I mean, some of the things that I do in my game right now are things that I rediscovered, I'd say, because someone's probably done it before, but I've never seen it being done before that way. Those things have come about from me just playing around. Like, usually with like a white belt trying to mess about and do something on them. But like, I've ended up like, oh, wait, what's this thing? Oh, wow, this is amazing. And then you take it from there and you start trying to apply it to like better and better and better people. Like I've got this position, I teach it quite a lot when I teach, which I call side saddle, which is a position I've never seen anyone else using, but it isn't that novel. I'm sure it's been done before I did it. Of course it has, because like I said, everything has been done before. You see in ancient Greek martial arts, there's like triangles and whatever, and people thought they were created by the Gracies, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Where I just basically go into a high mount and then I take one of my legs and I put it as a cross face across the face, so their arms are both stuck up there, and I can just like start doing some crazy stuff. And the thing is like I first did it on like a white belt, messing about and just literally messing around, playing. And I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a really great position. This is fantastic, because he can't get me out, he can't bump me, he can't do this. And so I then started, and now, I mean, people are kind of understand I'm going to get it, but I can still get it when people know it's coming. Even decent level, like good level people, because they're like, because I've managed to get to that position where I'm like, okay, I'll have to just wait this out, and then whack, that goes across, and I've got something here. But none of that would have happened, which is a key part of my game now, actually. None of that would have happened if I hadn't just messed around, played around, if I just stuck to only what I'm taught. And the thing is, it's important to have those foundations, to be taught those foundations, but to be able to go off them and then play and find something new.
That's where the artist comes in.
That's the magic.
That's for me, like, that's what drew me in, is like seeing Israel Adesanya's style.
Yeah.
And then seeing Peter Yan, and then seeing Marab, and then seeing Khabib, and then seeing Conor. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, so there isn't one way to do it all. And it's kind of like every single person that I'm watching doing this at the highest level, they have their own little sprinkle, their own little thing to it. And then as I started training, I'm like, yeah, I'm not 6'5". I can't fight like a 6'5" guy, even though that's what I grew up, that's what I saw, and that's what was interesting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't fight like him, or I can't. Like, for example, when I was learning Muay Thai, like trying to just stay in the traditional Thai stance, I have so much energy.
Yeah.
I can't really.
It's not the way you move.
Stay like that. Yeah. And then so I started figuring out, all right, what are my attributes?
Right.
And hold on, like after I throw this, my body just naturally likes to do that.
Right.
And then so I started like playing around with it. And now that I'm coaching privates, one of the things that I tell them, I'm like, yo, I can teach you and give you everything that I'm learning and as much as I can.
Yeah.
But you will never learn more than when you're by yourself in front of the mirror or when your eyes are closed and you're just walking through pattern. Yeah. You don't even have to do anything like hard or fast. Just move and feel your body, feel your balance. And yeah, man.
I agree. I mean, that's actually something that I really found from particularly in jiu-jitsu, because everybody has their game. Because jiu-jitsu is, I know I said everything's finite and the way you move is finite, and it is, but it's infinite in terms of how that goes together as a map. And it is like jiu-jitsu is just like, and even quite jiu-jitsu or submission grappling or whatever, because, it's kind of evolved into like something completely different at this point from what was being done like 20 years ago. It's a completely different game, but like it's so infinite. It's like there's so many places you can go. There's so much you can do, but everybody has their little game, and which is why when people they start to try and collect techniques and say, oh, so I can know all of it. Well, you're not going to know all of it. You never know all of it. You can't. But
it's too much.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much. And what will happen though is that you'll start to find that this is the way you naturally tend to go. So I started out trying to be a bit of a bottom player, and I'm not a bottom player. I'm a top guy. I play very hard top pressure pass, hard top pressure, hard like my side controls mean. I play like this very top heavy game, but that's just developed out of me. Like I couldn't have chosen to do that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
it just
came out.
Your body allowed you, and also I think it has something to do with personality. I think I'm coming from soccer. A lot of people say like in different positions you play in soccer, it has to do with your personality and the way that you express yourself on the field. And I feel that's the same thing when it comes to jiu-jitsu, right? Like your game is based on your personality.
Right.
Some people like to move very fast. Some people like to take their time.
What position do you play in soccer?
And I played winger.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Right, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, like everybody has a natural way that they express their movement, and it isn't necessarily from a conscious decision. It's just a matter of like we're saying, holding that mirror up to yourself. You're kind of like expressing yourself truly, but without like not in a contrived manner. You're not like, I'm going to be this person. Like you're just allowing the real you to kind of come out, and the real you is not just your personality. It's also just the way that your body moves, the way that you move. Like I couldn't do jiu-jitsu in a different way than I do it. Like it's and like I'm how many years now? 8 years.
So you started 2019.
Yeah, so 2018. I was wrong because 2018 because I came to the US in 2017. Okay. Yeah, I was a year out. I started because Travis just showed me. I started teaching the kids class on 2018 on July 5th because it was just our anniversary. It's funny, our anniversary came up. That's right. 2018. So I started jiu-jitsu in 2018, probably about March. So I've been, about 8 years, just over 8 years, 8.5 years, something like that. And so, I've got to that point, where I couldn't do it another way. I'm kind of like not stuck, but I've found my channel. And what I believe with all martial arts as well is it's like, if you're talking about looking at people, in MMA, like Adesanya, McGregor, whatever, they move the way they move because that is how they do it, but they're not actually doing like lots of very complicated things.
No, it's the same 1-2.
Yep.
It's the same kick.
Yep.
Like the weapons don't change. No. But it's the timing, the distance, the range,
the application,
the rhythm. Mm-hmm. Like that is what.
Right. Well, I think it was it's John Danaher said something like, elite athletes just do the fundamentals at an elite level.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true. Like, I mean, that Superman punch, okay, it's fun. I loved, it's nice to throw in and do something kind of, do like a spinning, whatever. But like, great, sure. But what's going to win the fight is your 1, 2, 3 in your round kick. It's gonna be those basic fundamentals, but done at an elite level. That's what gets the elite to be elite, is that they're doing those fundamentals, but they're doing them at a level that is so much higher. You know what I mean?
I get you.
So and so honestly, that's actually one of the best bits of advice I'd give to anyone starting out in it, is like not to try and overcomplicate their life, and it's just like, focus on the fundamentals, but also focus on what you're good at, and make that good. Like, okay, there's an idea, you can focus on your weaknesses, and yes, you should do that too. But like, if you find yourself strong at one thing, put some energy into that. See how strong that gets. That's something that's kind of, because that might be where your game really is. That I could have put a load of energy into playing bottom half guard, and I might have got good at it, but like that isn't what my game is. I would never have felt that comfortable there. Even if I'd solved that weakness, it wouldn't have rounded me out or made me much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Before we wrap it up, Tom, if anybody would like to get your books, your socials, how can they reach you?
Oh yeah, sure. My the best social for me is, actually, you can just go on Google and type in WarYoga as one word, WarYoga, and you will find me, because I'm kind of all over it. I've put a lot of effort over the years to be everywhere.
You're killing it.
Thanks. Instagram is my biggest account, but I'm on YouTube. Facebook suddenly started picking me up again. I don't know why, although I'm not really on Facebook. But I share everything that's on Instagram, gets automatically shared to Facebook. So Instagram's better. But if you're on Facebook and you're not on Instagram, check me out on Facebook. And then I'm actually just, my new website, I've got a website. I've had a website for years, but I've just updated it. And in the next 24 hours, it will have now gone across to my all new singing and dancing website, which is waryoga.com. And that's that. And I teach at Radius Martial Arts in Fairfield, Connecticut. And that is my home base. That's my fight family. They're my crew. And I couldn't do anything that I do really without those guys, like Travis and
hopefully I could get him in here. I want to get
him.
You
should. Yeah. Travis is a good guy. And also just like having like for example, like Junior and Rod in particular, like those two guys are like solid for me. Like Rod and Junior have been the backbone of me being able to put out a lot of content with the martial arts stuff. So I super appreciate my guys.
All right. I can't wait to see more of your content, my man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Cam. My pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Until next time. That was great. That was awesome.
Hey, thanks, man. That was awesome.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
We did just over an hour.
Oh, great. Great. It's good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Oh, awesome.
Great.